Tag. Wunderschönen guten Mittag. Natürlich habe ich jetzt vergessen, was zu trinken mitzunehmen, aber hey, egal. Ja, irgendwie ist heute das Internet ein bisschen merkwürdig. Ich hoffe, es funktioniert alles, aber das sieht richtig aus. Oh, das ist richtig kalt geworden. Also irgendwie eklig. So. Initialisiere das Spiel. Wie spät haben wir es eigentlich? Sagst du da? Ein bisschen. Oh, Leute. War ich gestern Abend echt einfach viel zu tatterig, um noch irgendwas bemalen zu können. Ich mache jetzt einfach nur ein bisschen Escape Sim. War auch echt schön. War zwar keiner da, aber hat Spaß gemacht. War angenehm. Ein bisschen weitergekommen. Das Space-Rätsel endlich gelöst. Ich habe im Dezember irgendwie nicht geschnallt, dass ich die Batterie noch austauschen muss. Und ja. Nee. Die Achievement-Gerenne, das kommt ja dann noch. Und dann mal gucken, was es so für Custom-Räume gibt. Irgendwann, wenn ich da durch bin. Ich mag ja diese Steampunk-Themed-Sachen sehr gerne. Vielleicht mache ich da dann noch mal ein paar. Was machst du denn hier eigentlich? Komm her. Ja. So. Irgendwie. Was machst du? Das sind Klebezettel, da kannst du nichts mit anfangen. Mara und der Feuerbringer und die dritte Box von Lord Schmetterhemd ist auch mittlerweile bei mir angekommen. Hatte ich, glaube ich, schon erzählt. Bin noch nicht dazu gekommen, sie zu hören. Gestern viel passiert, viel gemacht. Viel unterwegs gewesen. Sobald ich die gehört habe, mache ich eine Komplettrezension von der Reihe. Tommy ist auch schon wieder dran an weiteren Hörspielen zu Ghost Sitter. Also dementsprechend, ja. Naja. Mal schauen, wie das dann weitergeht. Was machst du denn da? Ja. Und ich habe gestern festgestellt, es soll ein neues DSA-Computerspiel rauskommen. Visual Novel. Da bin ich mal gespannt, ob das wirklich nur eine Klick-Geschichte wird. So, ja, klick einfach mal durch die Story durch. Oder ob es im Endeffekt eine Singleplayer-Kampagne wird für den PC. Nicht Kampagne, aber zumindest Singleplayer-Abenteuer für den PC. Bin ich gespannt. Es sieht aus nach vorgefertigten Charakteren, was immer ein bisschen schwierig ist bei einem Spiel wie DSA. Auf der anderen Seite gab es da aber auch natürlich schon Outlier, wo genau das eben schon der Fall war. Ich habe ein Desktop-Audio. Ja, Desktop-Audio an. Ich gucke nochmal eben, dass ich die Zeit nicht aus den Augen verliere. 5 Minuten. Ja, wir können eigentlich schon anfangen. 5 Minuten ist 5 Minuten, 5 Minuten. Ja. 5 Minuten sind 5 Minuten. Ich habe das Sinn vergessen. Was haben wir hier noch? Trophäen. Das sind 12.000 Trophäen. Aber wir haben auch noch nicht so viel jetzt. Wir haben ein paar 30%. Dementsprechend spielen wir erstmal 36%, also spielen wir jetzt erstmal weiter. Ich glaube aber nicht, dass ich 100% aller Achievements finden werde, also von daher.
You've seen Fraser, Hastings. What is your feeling?
He's a big chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case.
Alles klar. Ich wünschte, ich könnte so laufen.
This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken.
gehen. Wir haben uns das hier angeguckt. Gehen wir noch mal ein bisschen hier rum, bevor wir reingehen. Das ist dasselbe, ne?
This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. Bexhill is a pretty little seaside resort with elegant architecture. Although personally, I prefer more modern buildings. No need to bother Megan Barnard anymore.
Nichts Neues.
This is definitely where the photo I found in the
Ach
hut
stimmt,
was
der
taken.
war ja in der Ginger Cat.
Hastings appears to be ill at ease. He appeared to be relatively indifferent to Mrs. Asher's murder, but a young woman's murder seems to be troubling him greatly.
Weil es eine junge Frau war?
I fear that this case is far from being solved.
Come on, Poirot. You'll find the killer.
Certes. But how many times will he kill before I do?
Das ist eine gute Frage.
With all these tourists, these shops must be thriving.
Wir haben keinen Penny, das haben wir uns alle schon angeguckt. Sehr suspekt, wir können nur mit ihm reden.
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions.
Schottische Wurzeln. Nordengland. Irisch.
This man looks suspicious.
Ja. Da.
Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone.
Nope. Okay.
Tell me that it's a mistake. That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Your lady friend.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
Fragen, ob er Betty gestern Nachmittag gesehen hat. Sagen, dass Betty nur das tat, was ihr passte. Fragen, was geschehen wäre, wenn sie auf ihn gehört hätte. Das könnte ihn halt außer Reserve locken, ne? Wegen seinem Temperament. Das allerdings auch.
If I have understood correctly, Betty was not the sort of person to listen to advice.
You're right. She always did as she pleased.
And what did she have in mind for yesterday evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
Fragen, warum er ihr geglaubt hat und erläutern, dass ihre Schwester in London war. Vielleicht sollten wir das mit London machen.
Yet, Megan only returned to Bexhill this morning, Mr. Fraser.
I didn't know.
Right. May I ask you what you were doing yesterday evening?
I spent the evening working.
Your colleagues can confirm this?
No, I often take work home with me.
Hervorheben, dass er kein Alibi hat und ihn beschuldigen zu lügen, wie es Betty getan hat. Er fühlt sich unwohl. Sollen wir ihn reizen? Komm.
You are lying, Mr. Fraser. As was Betty when she hid the fact from you that she was seeing other men.
Betty was a very decent young woman. How dare you sully her memory?
Ihn informieren, dass es einen Mörder zu finden gibt, sich entschuldigen, etwas grob gewesen zu sein.
I am not interested in memories of her, Mr. Fraser. I am looking for a killer, and I need you to be my closest ally. That is, unless you have something to hide.
Of course I don't.
Très bien. So, what were we saying? Where were you yesterday evening?
I looked everywhere for her, but in vain. When she said she was going to have dinner with her sister on a weekday, I thought it was strange. I tried not to think about it, but I was like a lion in a cage. I was convinced she was lying. So I went round all the restaurants in the town. When I didn't find her, I went to the next town. But nothing. I must have got home about midnight or 1 o'clock.
Did anybody see you?
I don't think so. I didn't talk to anybody. I was so furious.
Ist auch nicht gut.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, is all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Romantischer Beichtstuhl haben wir als Errungenschaft bekommen. So, hat Donald ein Alibi? Donald hätte am Strand sein können, okay. Beiden Morde wurden vorsätzlich von selben Mörder begangen. Er hat kein Motiv für den Mord an Mrs. Asher, ja. Haben wir noch mehr? An den Tatort zurückkehren.
This is a well-laid table. Nothing is out of place, and above all, no creases.
Na gut, dann.
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Japp to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene. The killer and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5.
Ändern, Betty. Okay. A change.
Miss Betty enters the hut.
No. It wasn't hut number 5. Let us think again, mon cher. The killer and the victim are walking on the beach.
Ah, okay.
Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5.
Fortschreiten.
Both of them walk slowly to hut number 6.
Ja, okay.
Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code.
Na, fortschreiten noch.
They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Na, so einfach ist es leider nicht.
Everything appears to
Kein
match the
schöner
crime
Tod.
scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened. Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Ja.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless, but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings.
Es gibt, glaube ich, kein Easter Egg, was ich gerade noch finden könnte, oder? Hier drüben noch irgendwie hingehen? Nee, ne?
There is no doubt about it.
Okay. Never mind. Oh, 15 Ego-Punkte haben wir gekriegt, okay.
Right, back to London. There is nothing more for us to do here.
Jap has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling.
Mhm. Nächster Brief.
Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC. Good hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard.
Es ist der 30.
No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately.
Pyramidenförmiger Schnurrbart. Okay.
Miss Hastings tore the envelope.
Ein Stück des Umschlags. Können wir die nochmal vergleichen? Poirot, White Horse Mansions. Not known at Whitehorse Mansions, okay. And Whitehorse Court, try Whitehaven Mansions.
Pour Mr. Poirot. Not...
Ja, das haben wir schon gelesen. Das brauche ich jetzt nicht nochmal.
It is not a good time.
Ja, das ist das Telefon. Den neuen Brief vergleichen. Ha.
It is not a good... It is not a good...
Darf ich das nicht? Okay.
It is not a good time.
Warum denn?
Hello, Jap. We received a new letter from ABC in the 10 o'clock post.
Where and when?
In Cheston. Today.
Today? I'll inform the population immediately.
I'll check the train times. Call me back.
Darf ich jetzt? Bitte sag mir, ich darf jetzt.
It is not a... It is not...
Den neuen Brief vergleichen.
It is not... It is not...
Ja, aber wie soll ich denn den Brief
It is not a
vergleichen?
good... It is not a good time. Pour Mr. Poirot.
Hä?
Daily Flicker, July 30, 1935. ABC affair, no progress. The alphabet murderer is still on the run. Ever since the police found the connection between the Bexhill and Andover affairs, the inquiry has barely progressed. In this issue, we are publishing provocative letters sent by the killer to Hercule Poirot. Unfortunately, they have not yet helped to find him. Daily Flicker, July the 26th, 1935. The Bexhill Horror. Young maid strangled on the beach. Killer struck at midnight.
Ich noch irgendwas anderes machen hier?
Bexhill-on-Sea, Sussex. Population 24,703.
Hastings Huntings. Okay.
Hastings' photo album. He's
Toll.
very proud of his bag.
Tja. Ich bin leicht verwirrt. Aber eigentlich müssten wir an den Schreibtisch dran. Ah.
Hastings, what you are doing is an absolute disaster. That is no way to pack suitcases.
Heavens, we must hurry. We have to get to Churston before the murder.
Zugeben, dass es ein Notfall ist und hervorragend, dass Ordnung am wesentlichsten ist.
Hastings' order and method are always necessary, regardless of the circumstances.
Okay, okay. I'll let you pack them.
All the same, it really is a disgrace to leave your belongings in such a mess.
Badehandtuch, Schlafanzug, nicht geschützte Flasche, Nicht richtig zugedrehte Zahnpasta. Ungleiche Socken. Okay.
Voila. It only took a minute.
Poirot, you were right. I've just consulted the ABC guide. There's no hurry. The next train doesn't leave till 11:45.
You see, there is no need to hurry. We will not be in Churston until tomorrow morning. After the murder.
But why has the murderer warned us so late? It's not what he usually does. Did he do it on purpose?
Very good question, Hastings.
Ich glaube nicht, dass
We
er das
should also
war.
compare the letter we have just received with the other two. Although I have very little doubt about what we
Ja.
will find.
Ich habe irgendwie nicht das Gefühl, dass das der Mörder gewesen ist.
Right, let us compare this new letter with the second one. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects.
Das I
Yes, this I is weird.
ist hier auch.
Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory.
Das W.
The W is not printed properly. Of course, the W characters in the two letters
Yeah.
do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory.
Das A.
Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter.
Was ist jetzt mit den...
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Okay. Warum kommt die Benachrichtigung des Mörders so spät? Ja, falsche Adresse. Wurde am richtigen Datum versandt, aber hatte die falsche Adresse. Auch merkwürdig, ne? Zweimal hat funktioniert.
The letter should have arrived in time. The postmark shows that it was sent 3 days ago. However, our man made a mistake in the address, which explains the delay. All the same, the post office took their time correcting the error.
Come on, Poirot. Your address is not quite as well known as that of Scotland Yard.
Auch wieder wahr.
Poirot, the telephone. It must be Jap.
Das war jetzt natürlich zu spät. Kein Grund zur Eile, ne? Hä?
I have some news from Churchton. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clark was murdered while out on his evening
Der
walk.
erste Mann.
Sir Carmichael Clark. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Combside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train.
Ist schon auffällig, ne? Das Asher hatte Probleme mit der Kehle, Betty hatte Probleme mit der Kehle und jetzt wird ein Kehlenspezialist umgebracht. Oh,
The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clark, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on purpose?
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them. It's a matter of pride for him. Shall we go up to the house, Poirot?
You go, my friends. I will come soon.
Serienmörder sind immer ein bisschen merkwürdig. Was ist das hier? Man weiß es nicht.
An ABC guide. The murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time.
Blood, blood, blood.
Sir Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision, a professional murder. Sir Carmichael. The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area, which starts at the body and becomes wider as it moves further from the bush. The gravel on the path. Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises.
Merkwürdig.
Jap has emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece of wax cloth. A signet ring, very
Oh. Sorry. Sag das nochmal.
A signet ring, very probably with the Clark family's coat of arms.
Ja. 1587.
Nothing appears to be missing from this wallet.
Ja, ABC-Mörder war ja bis jetzt noch kein einziges Mal Diebstahl.
An oriental dragon. It's an old piece, much older than the pocket watch on which it was fastened.
Okay. Schlüssel.
It is pointless.
Okay.
This place is very calming.
Ein Kaninchenbau. Okay. Malerischer Felsen und wunderschöne Blumen. Wilde Blumen. Okay.
The site is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening.
Das haben wir gesehen. Das haben wir gesehen. Da noch was?
The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled. The vegetation...
Können wir hier lang? Nee. Da ist nichts zu sehen. Nichts
I'm
zu
not
holen,
going to
nichts
leave
zu
now.
sehen.
I still have some clues to find.
Okay. Moment. Das hier vielleicht?
The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled.
Das da.
The site is
Nee. Was habe ich denn noch nicht gesehen? Da haben wir alle Hinweise gefunden. Da steht es ja netterweise auch dran. Oh, es fehlt ein Indiz. Okay. Alles klar. Aber das hier ist nur...
The body is just in front of a bush. One of the only bushes in the surrounding area. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Alles klar. So, in welcher Position wurde Sir Carmichael, als er ermordet wurde? Hercule, meine Güte. Er hat eine Verletzung mit klaren Konturen. Konische Form. Leichte wurde im Strauch gefunden. Okay. Dreht er dem Strauch den Rücken zu. Und dann hat er sich umgedreht und dann wurde ihm die Kehle durchgeschnitten.
Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut his throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood over a range of more than 1 meter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Rücken zum Strauch gehabt. Niedergetretenes Gras hinter dem Strauch. Eine einzige Verletzung. Ohne ihn zu sehen. Ja. Tap, tap.
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing.
Oh, ich würde gerne sagen, es ist gut geplant. Es muss gut geplant gewesen sein. Weil bei einem opportunistischen Mord kann viel schief gehen. Er muss jedenfalls gewusst haben, dass er da lang geht und hat sich dann hinter dem Busch versteckt.
The killer has prepared his crime very carefully.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
Würde ich jetzt auch behaupten. Diebstahl könnte... Nein, es war ein sehr brutaler Mord.
The murderer struck with terrible savagery.
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked a man. He armed himself accordingly.
Have you spoken to the victim's family, Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clark. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
Guti, dann gehen wir mal weiter. Jetzt darf ich gehen, ne? Ja.
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Gray.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest.
Da gucken wir uns mal die Brosche an, würde ich sagen.
There is something elegant about her.
Was denn? Ja, du bist weggegangen. Okay.
She has good taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clark.
Komm her. So, schauen wir uns weiter
Hastings
um.
does not like very hot tea. He's going to blow on his cup for a good while before drinking. It is not the right time. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to question him. It is a...
Ja, okay.
It is not the right time.
Na gut.
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
Bevor sie mir die Beine zerkratzt. So, ihn beschuldigen Lady Clark am Sprechen zu hindern, sich verständlich zeigen und darauf bestehen. Ich weiß nicht, was sie hat. Gravely ill kann alles heißen, aber es könnte sein, dass wir darauf bestehen müssen.
I insist, Mr. Clark. Please allow me to remind you that this is a murder inquiry.
Unfortunately, she is much too ill. She doesn't even know her husband is dead. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid it's out of the question.
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for your brother. Who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
Fragen, ob die Nacht dunkel war und nach seinem Lieblingsbuch fragen.
Was it your favorite novel?
The Railway Children by Edith Nesbit. I know it's a children's book, but it's enthralling.
So it was you who found the body.
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
Miss Clark.
Oh, Lady Clark must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming.
Don't be hasty, Hastings.
A turtle. Dragon, dragon, dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his collection's theme. A tiger.
Interesting. Okay, wir haben also alle unterschiedliche Plättchen.
Crane? A dragon.
Okay.
It is an emperor. His place at the center of the table is probably symbolic.
Comside's private collection purchased since 1920. Kann ich dich öffnen?
Comside's private collection purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clark's collection. Compass, point to the south. Bronze and magnetite, Han Dynasty, circa 210 BC, purchased in Hong Kong 1935.
Interesting. Ah, 1 von 1. Okay. Und hier vorne.
There are some very valuable objects here.
Oh. Das ist der Aufbau vom Tee.
The cardinal points. This book could maybe help me. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. In the middle sits the imperial dragon, and out of respect, all the others are turned towards him. Turtle, the dragon, the crane, and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
Kann ich hier irgendwas mitmachen? Ah. Das ist der Tiger, Schildkröte, ja. Und alle sind... dem Drachen zugewendet. Ah, okay. Kriege ich denn das Color Theme her? Rot, Blau, Schwatt, Weiß. So. Das ist, ich denke, fast richtig. Das ist, all turns towards him. Nee.
It is blocked.
Ja, das dachte ich mir fast. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. Vielleicht muss ich es drehen. Moment. Also, der Emperor war... zur Schildkröte ausgerichtet. Ich gehe nochmal gucken. Kann ich nicht? Kann ich nicht. Okay. Na gut. Ah, da. Ein X. Ja, das macht nichts. Ich muss noch mal... Hallo? Ah, okay. Der Kranich muss nach oben. Alles klar.
Turtle, the dragon, the crane, and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
Ja. Der Kranich muss nach
The
oben.
position of each motif is correct.
So, und jetzt die Farben. Oben war rot. Rot, Blau, Schwarz.
I think I heard a bang. Good. This is interesting.
Ein Messer fehlt. Okay.
Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clark, MD, Comsite Churstone, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clark, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clark's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan.
Nicht gut.
These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here.
Here's Miss Grey.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Lady Clark's condition requires regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Aber sicher.
Indeed, mademoiselle. This porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe. Wait, let me find the reference.
Da kannst du doch nicht mehr von essen und trinken. Das gehört in ein Museum.
She appears to be very flustered.
Ist
She's
irgendwas
unable
passiert?
to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
Okay.
Here? Teapot with black dragon, Gangxi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
Fragen, ob er ihr Geschenk gemacht hat. Fragen, ob es ihr peinlich war, für einen älteren Mann zu arbeiten. Wie ihre Beziehung zum Dienstherrn war.
Did you have a good relationship with your employer?
He treated me well, and I am sorry for his death.
Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Comside.
Fragen, wo sie während der Tatzeit war und nach ihrer Version der Tatsachen fragen.
Tell me what happened last night.
After dinner? Well, I did some sewing, and then I went to bed. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clark speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns, and they found the body.
Fragen, was sie über Franklin denkt, nach den Gründen ihrer Abneigung gegen Franklin fragen, ob sie eine Beziehung mit Franklin hat.
Am I right thinking that something is going on between you and Franklin?
How dare you ask me such a question?
Wütend. Sie beschuldigen Franklin geküsst zu haben, sie um Bestätigung bitten, dass Franklin sie geküsst hat und sich entschuldigen.
Mademoiselle, it is difficult to hide things from me. He kissed you earlier, did he not?
My goodness, with Sir Carmichael's death, I was feeling so awful, so worried. I was unable to resist.
I am not judging you, mademoiselle.
Miss Grey, if I may be so bold, please do not take offence. My friend has rather unusual methods, but all he wants is to find the murderer.
Yes, I understand. I must rest. Please excuse me.
Earlier, you asked me to watch the living room door for you. I don't wish to be indiscreet, but sometimes a gentleman stumbles upon a secret without intending to.
That is sometimes the case.
And I saw Franklin Clark kissing Miss Grey at the foot of the stairs.
Do you think this is a common occurrence?
No, I saw emotion, intensity. I think it was their first kiss.
Well done, mon ami. Well spotted.
However, I don't think I completely understand this business. Why did Sir Carmichael not defend himself? He appeared to have been active and strong.
The murderer did not give him a chance. Let us try and reconstruct the scene.
Ich habe mir, glaube ich, den Kamin nicht angeguckt. Naja.
Sir Clark is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush.
Warten.
The old man walks quietly along the gravel path. Then he turns towards the sea to gaze at it.
Wollen wir von rechts angreifen?
The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the poor man's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes. Indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Kirst, are you all right? You don't seem well.
My apologies. My throat is burning and my head feels heavy. It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
Okay. Spannend.
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. And Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clark. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them.
Sie haben einen veränderbaren Gegenstand erhalten. Wählen Sie dafür den Gegenstand in Ihrem Inventar aus und klicken Sie auf das Symbol. Er ist nur dann zugänglich, wenn eine Veränderung möglich ist. Schauen wir uns das mal an. Ah ja, der Stift. Und das ist echt ganz hübsch. Okay. Das genau bringt uns wahrscheinlich gerade noch nichts, oder? Jeden beobachten. Das machen wir jetzt erstmal noch und dann mache ich Schluss für heute. Nee. Das ist das falsche Symbol. Genau.
Donald is always on edge.
Ja. Jetzt. Augenringe. Geballte Hände. Ne?
Leave me alone.
Ne. Ja, irgendwo muss noch was sein. Ja. Rasierschnitt. Den hätte ich nie auf
Donald
der
Fraser
Seite
is
gesehen,
very
ja.
nervous at the moment, even if he's trying hard to control himself. She appears to have taken more care with her appearance than the last time.
Okay.
She's looking at Mr. Fraser out of the corner of her eye. Did she make herself beautiful for him?
Nächste Seite.
I ought to concentrate on my guests. Franklin Clark always seems at ease, regardless of where he is. Something that's unique to people who travel.
Okay.
The song says, "Sometimes I love a blonde who comes from Eden by way of Sweden." But I am not sure that this blonde is an angel.
Naja.
Sometimes I love a brunette, sometimes I love a blonde. That's what the song says. I wish to thank you all for coming. I wanted to bring everyone close to the victims here in order to unmask the murderer.
Get to the point, Mr. Poirot. What do you want from us?
Megan nach dem Grund dieses Treffens fragen. Megan bitte nicht so in Eile zu sein.
Megan, dear girl, please be patient.
Mr. Poirot, how dare you address me by my first name?
Please excuse me, mademoiselle. What I ask is that you search your memories. The murderer must have left some trace.
Yes, he must have prepared his crimes very carefully.
Tout à fait. He did not get to Bexhill at midnight in order to strangle a young girl whose name by chance starts with P.
Must we go into that?
Akzeptieren, dass dieses Thema Unbehagen erzeugt. Donald bitten, sich zusammenzureißen.
No, of course. Not if it makes you uncomfortable.
Come on, Mr. Poirot. I imagine we all feel terribly uncomfortable about these murders.
It's true. We've to catch the killer, not be spared the gory details.
Ja.
Mr. Fraser, please get a grip on yourself.
Well, I want to help you, but I don't remember anything else. Nothing I haven't already said.
And you, Mademoiselle Barnard? Did your sister say if she was seeing another man?
She never would have told me.
Bei Megan insistieren, ja.
Allons, surely sisters have no secrets.
She never spoke about any of that to me. Do you believe me or do I have to repeat myself? Betty knew I didn't approve of her behavior. Her flirting was spoiling any chance she might have had.
Tell me, mademoiselle, what did you talk about with your sister?
Silly things. Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother bought her a brand new pair. The day it happened, she was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Your sister used to sing, I believe. Did she ever perform in public?
She dreamt about it, but she had a very bad cough. It troubled her greatly. She had to cancel auditions and miss lots of opportunities. A pity.
Yes, she sang well, but that doesn't tell us much about the murderer.
Qui sait? In any case, we now have enough information to draw up a relatively precise psychological profile. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Okay. Ist der Mörder clever? Beweismaterial. Brief unterschrieben mit ABC. Sie wurde 2 Stunden die Straße voll mit Menschen war. Das ist ganz schön gewagt. Der Mörder hat Methode und bereitet seine Verbrechen gründlich vor. Er vergisst nie, seine intrigante Unterschrift zu hinterlassen. Ohne das ABC-Kursbuch hätte ich Mr. Asher, Mr. Fraser verdächtigt, indem der Mörder seine Verbrechen unterschrieben hat. Sorgt er dafür, dass man nur ihn beschuldigt. Auf gewisse Weise ist das sehr großzügig von ihm. Der Mann hat Betty verführt, den Strand genommen, wo er sie dann erdrosselt hat. Ein Kursbuch. Vielleicht mag der Mörder Züge. In der Tat kommen wir auf diesen Mord zurück und sie werden sehen, dass der Mörder ihn perfekt ausgeführt hat. Okay. Ist der Mörder selbstsicher? Okay. Ach klar, mit einer gewagten Stunde. Ist der Mörder ein Verführer? Mag der Mörder Züge? Ist der Mörder impulsiv? Nein. Ja, der Mörder ist großzügig, ja.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we can now surmise without too much risk of error that our adversary is calculative, sure of himself, a seducer of outstanding intelligence, that he has plenty of self-control, and that he likes railways. It's a good start. Other meetings may be necessary. I hope that you will be able to come back again.
Well, it's just that...
Mary drängen zu helfen, fragen, was sie stört und hervorheben, dass ihr Geld für den Zug fehlt.
Is something bothering you, Mary?
Well, Mr. Poirot, you see, I don't know if I can come to London just like that.
It's normal that people helping with this inquiry should be reimbursed. Starting with you, Miss Drower. Please allow me to pay for your train tickets.
Oh, sir, I cannot accept.
But you must. Mademoiselle, I may not be rich, but my brother left a fortune which will be mine.
Mr. Clark, that's very generous of you.
Well, someone has to foot the bill. Mr. Poirot, would it be possible for you to come back to Devon? Lady Clark has expressed a wish to see you. We'll adjust her medicine so she'll not be too drowsy.
But of course, I shall come the day after tomorrow if it is convenient. Thank you all for coming. We will meet again soon.
Das ist echt spannend.
The meeting was most fruitful.
Niete Schnurrbart.
Really?
Hastings, I believe now we have everything we need to find a common point between the victims. Now it is time for us to use our grey matter.
Oh, noch mehr?
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Kommt das jetzt mit den Stockings? Was hatten die Opfer gemeinsam? Na. Nicht? Okay. Betty ging neben Donald anderen Männern aus. Leiche war noch warm. Foto von ihr und Donald. Opfer hieß Asher. Medikament gegen Husten. Brutaler Ehemann. Gewalttätiger Mann. Stimmprobleme. Bekannter Arzt im Ruhestand. Und Sir Carmichael stand Thora sehr nahe. Nee, Moment. Nee. Das und das. Untreue, kein Thema. Okay. Das. Okay. Alle Opfer hatten Halsbeschwerden. Ja.
The first two victims suffered from bad throat, and that was precisely the specialty of the third victim, Dr. Clark.
We have a lead.
It would pay to take a closer look at the medical records of Dr. Clark's patients.
We'll do so during our next visit to Churston.
Ja.
I will do it myself, mon ami. You must remain in London just in case ABC sends us another letter.
Very well, as you wish. Thank you for coming, Mr. Poirot. Lady Clark is waiting for you in her bedroom on the first floor. Please excuse me, I cannot stay for the interview. I've to take Miss Grey to the station to see our lawyer in Torquay.
Okay. Fragen, ob Thora in den Urlaub fährt und fragen, ob sie ihre Arbeitsstelle verlässt.
Are you leaving Churston for good?
Miss Grey very kindly stayed with me to settle my brother's affairs, but naturally she prefers to find a position in London.
Ah, très bien.
I'll be absent all morning, Mr. Poirot, but the nurse is coming soon. She's to ensure that the dose of medicine doesn't make our patient drowsy.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Have a nice trip, mademoiselle.
Okay, jetzt machen wir hier aber dann Schluss für heute. Verlassen, ja. %. Wir haben noch ein bisschen was vor uns. Freue ich mich. Und mit dem Bonus jetzt sicherlich auch noch mal im Verlauf ein bisschen was über. Ja. Rekonstruktionen. Sind nur 3 Morde. Und mit den Errungenschaften sind wir fast durch, wie es aussieht. Ungarischer Schnurrbart, Schnauzbart, Kronleuchter-Schnurrbart, Königsschnurrbart, Kaiserschnurrbart. Adlerauge fehlt mir noch. Okay. Cortex und gotischer Beichtstuhl. Cäsiumkristall 133, Zuchtesel, großer Esel, Kater, der sich putzt und ja, okay, vergesst es. Wir sind noch nicht durch. Alles klar. Guti. Als dann, bis denn. Arrivederci, ciao, bye bye, hey Dor und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.